All right, I'm going to show you how to save money when you're using AI models. So, a couple of things that you should know. First of all, Easel supports a bunch of different AI models in the app. That's one thing that's good about it. And one reason that that's good is that you can control your spend. And Easel allows people to pay as you go, which honestly isn't that good for me as the owner because everybody wants you to have a subscription, because it's really good money for them. But honestly, I want to make this affordable and accessible for everybody. And I think it honestly ethically should be because AI is so powerful that people need to be able to have access to these tools, but whatever, that's a different conversation. Anyway, they have really different pricing structures. So for example, like these models here, these Claude 3, you're going to see here, oops, I shut the menu, but this one, like these models are like Haiku is the cheapest, and you can click on this little I button and you can see the pricing here. It's kind of hard to actually turn the token cost into like what matters for you. So I'm going to help you with that a little bit. But just know that like all these models are really different, and you can kind of poke around and see the pricing. And the easiest ones to illustrate with are like Haiku. Like this is a really affordable model. And then Opus is expensive. GPT-4 is expensive. Gemini 1.5 Pro is pretty expensive. And so let me kind of teach you a little bit about how to like make your money go farther with AI. All right, so first, the model choice is a big one. So I'm going to go and show you some results here. Let's just like look at this one here. All right, cool. So this like Claude 3 Haiku, in the Easel app, you can see your spend. So if you go to details here, look, this thing costs like less than a fraction of a penny to generate, okay? And so like what drives the cost? Well, what drives the cost is how long the prompt is, and also how long the output is. So like I'm just going to X out of this for a second. Like this all goes into the prompt. So basically the prompt is this text versus this, and plus this text, plus the cost of the amount of characters that it generates. So that's what makes AI models cost stuff, is like the amount of text that go in and the amount of text that comes out. And so how does that matter for you? Well, another way that matters is as you chat, as you go on, it becomes more expensive. So it's actually more affordable to like have more threads with shorter chat history than to build out like monster threads. And then I'll show you kind of some more. We'll look at some pricing a little bit. So like, let's go and check this out because I can see we started with Haiku. It was really cheap. Here's Opus. This is like one of the fanciest models that's out right now. And then let's see how much this costs to generate. About four and almost 5 cents. Okay. And let's look at some like really expensive use cases. So as you go down and you have like big prompts, let's see if we go down here. No, not that big. But you can see maybe down here. Yeah, that could be kind of big. Let's see. Now it's Haiku. That was pretty cheap. So let's see this one. See if we can find. Yeah, this is pretty. Okay, cool. So there's a lot here, and this is kind of okay. This is a good example. So this is Claude 3. There's a lot of output here. You're seeing on the screen. So like you get charged more actually for the output, and then also if there's a bunch of stuff that came before in the chat, it'll be more expensive. So this one was 41 cents. So that's like basically using like the nicest model with a long chat history. It's like about 41 cents. Whereas like if you go earlier on, like with, let's see if we did something here with like Haiku. No, we didn't really. So yeah, so like one of the strategies I suggest is start your query, like start your work with something affordable like Haiku, and then move up. So you're like, all right, cool. Like, I started with Haiku and I'm not getting what I want. So then what you can do here, like I can kind of show you how this works. Like, so like if you go here and then so let's say this example was Gemini Pro, and like this cost very cheap, less than a penny. But I'm like, you know what? I don't really like this email it drafted. So you start with the cheap one, and then what you do is go up here and then select a model that's a little bit nicer like Opus, and then retry. And then you're going to see that like basically you can just kind of upgrade the model as you need to get what you want. And this will basically enable you to make your AI stuff go a long way. I mean, for example, if you want to buy $20 worth of credit on the Easel app, and you're smart with the way you use AI, it can go a really long way to helping you out. And frankly, this Haiku model is very good. And it can do most things for you. That's another thing you should think about. Do I really need to use the super high powered model, right now for what I'm working on? I mean, and oftentimes the answer is no. I mean, if you're doing something like translation or summarizing or something, oftentimes you don't need the super duper fancy models. You can use a simpler one. And honestly, you're being a little bit better for the planet because you're not using a bunch of energy that you don't really need. And then if you're asking it more complex stuff, then you can upgrade to the fancier models. So that's kind of how you manage your pricing and your spending on the Easel app.